Hello. Guess who it is? It's mentally drained tomato sauce in the sweltering heat. How is everyone doing today? We are going to do our best. We wanted to stream a little bit. Realistically, we probably shouldn't have bothered. We don't have like a ton of free time, so we're not going to be able to have like a super long stream. But I did want to chat to you guys. We do have some interesting little snippets going on. We have had another big Rush tournament. We have had the Galaxy Cup going on over in Japan, which is very, very exciting. We've got some results, which means we have like some new meta stuff going on, as well as a bunch of new Shadowverse reveals, which is really, really cool. I don't know what a Human Watch Keys dub fan just tried to say, but the bot did not like it. Now, I'm pretty sure the bot only censors very specific things like URLs and stuff, so I don't know what that was. But hello everyone. Let's see who we have in the chat. We have a Human Portuguese dub fan. Hello. We have Gunkin, Suship, Shari. This weather, yeah, it is it is a bad time in the EU right now. We are just heat wave after heat wave. This one is gonna last a little while, but it should be fine by Tuesday, right? So that's kind of what we're just hoping for. If things stay like this, we will have another PNG stream on Sunday, assuming we do a stream on Sunday. But Tuesday we should be back to regular camera, right? That is going to be the plan. That's going to be the plan. Ask the Weather Channel to change it. If only. If only. No, we don't need the Besaid music. We want something a bit more. We're stuck in like calm Final Fantasy music. We're going to find something. This every single track I skip to is another like really calm track. I'm trying to get something to like get the blood pumping a little bit. Maybe like fill me with energy, but all we're getting is really somber track. So I guess we're just stuck here for now. This is fine. This is fine. Luis Fernando's in the chat. Hello, Luis Fernando. Tomato Face, we love you. Yeah, PNG Tomato is, you know, it's a strong candidate for better than IRL Face Tomato, really. I think really PNG Tomato has a lot more fans. A lot more people are like really getting behind PNG Tomato. I've had a lot of like very positive comments about it. And I don't usually get a lot of positive comments about my actual face. So, you know, all I can take away from that is that people really enjoy the PNG. We have Dio Lima. Good morning, Senor Tomato. Haven Bros, we are back. Yes, I haven't looked at the card reveals. I did see some of the images, like literally just like the art of the cards, and some of them do look really cool. I haven't had a chance to like read through any of them. I have just literally not had the time. So we are going to be going through some of them today, because as far as I'm aware, the Shadowverse streams are like tomato sauce streams, in that there is just a shit ton of downtime with like nothing happening and just yapping. And then all of a sudden you get like little sprinkles of like really cool shit in there. So it's kind of like ours, except we don't usually have that really cool shit. We usually just kind of stop at the wasting time bit. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. We have Darth Victor in the chat. Hello, Darth Victor. Welcome on in. And we have How Genesis. When did Tomato become a VTuber? I think it is an insult to VTubers to call my PNG a V. Even calling me a PNG tuber, I think, is a little bit awkward. This is just what we do when it's hot, and we. I look like a mess right now. I've been sweating. I have not had a chance to like sort my look out whatsoever. I am the ultimate like just mess right now. So there was no way the face was being shown on stream. But we are going to give a shout out to How. I should probably... How is here so much? We raid into How so much. I should probably just... if I can spell the name, that is. I should probably just have a custom exclamation mark command for How. But we'll get there eventually. Have I spelled it correctly this time? Yeah, there we go. So we got there in the end. We got there in the end. Can you explain the cam? I heard the end of it. It's literally, we literally have this on if we are not respectable enough to be on stream. That is why we have this. And it is right now, it's so hot. I could not have the face on. Blood pumping heavy metal from Metallica. So I would love to like do that sort of thing. The issue is because I upload the VODs to YouTube, there's a lot of copyright issues, which is the only issue with like playing that kind of music. Like tomato face. Hey, you look good as a tomato, and normal. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks even better because it's like my actual neck just like plugged into this like perfect, just 2D sprite of my tomato face. Hello, tomato. Hello, is life. Welcome, welcome on in. Hope you're having a lovely day. I hope it is not sweltering hot where you are. Yeah, there was only one card leak from Runecraft early on, but I'm guessing we got more leaks. Yeah, I would expect it. We'll see what happens. JPG tuber. Yeah, I think that's the downgrade from PNG tuber, so I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Oh, is it too hot today? It is very hot in Europe. It is extremely hot in Europe. How many degrees over there? So right now, in my room, in my office, in my house, it is currently 31, going up to 32. Which, like, again, for some of you, you're gonna, right, because I have to explain this every time I complain about the weather. I have to explain this every time. It's not that it's too hot compared to other places. It's compared to England, which is where I live. It is like 8 degrees Celsius more than we're used to. And because of that, it feels painful, right? That's all it is, right? Because there'll be some people who are like closer to the equator or in more tropical climates, and they'll be like, "What do you mean 32? That's nothing. That's the average day." And it's like, yeah, but you're used to that. I'm used to like 16. That's where I feel comfortable. Yeah, it's too hot in the UK today. It went from a nice chilly breeze to now this. Yeah, exactly. For those debating if the new deck build is good, it's amazing if you got Soul Resonator, Bone, and Psy. I haven't really looked too much into it. I've seen that the new decks have been like performing okay on ladder. That is about it. I don't know how they've been performing in tournaments. We had the Grand Prix yesterday. I watched a lot of it, but I didn't get to see the end, so I don't know who like won or anything. It's 24 here. It's not that bad. Well then, you know, that's not too bad for you then. UK houses were made to contain heat. Fun fact, so wintertime wasn't as bad for us back in the 90s. Yeah, it's literally that. Our houses are made of bricks, so our houses are built to be like an oven, effectively. So we built ovens to live in, because that was sensible at the time. But we've just never adopted like air conditioning as a normal thing, because we realistically wouldn't use it most of the time. So we'll just get like a month or so where we're like, oh, dying, and then we just accept that and then don't buy air conditioning. That's the trade-off that we make. Have you seen my end fields with assault mode decks? I have not. I don't, like I say, I haven't looked into it too much. Thank you for the follow, Sharp J Hawk. Welcome, my friend. Yeah, we're having the opposite here in Brazil. It's extremely cold. See, I like the cold. I like the cold because you can always warm yourself up easy enough. Cooling yourself down is a bit more of a faff. It's a bit more of a pain to cool yourself down. Warming yourself up is not too bad. So, like, that's just kind of how I look at it. I live on the surface of the sun. Anything under 500,000? That's just 5 million, right? 500k is 5 mil. Isn't worth complaining about. Well, yeah, exactly. It's going to be, like I say, it's different for different people, right? And depending on where you live, depending on what your climate is, etc., etc. We're getting new builds with better design for summer weather, but still sucks if you ain't living in the new houses. Yes, my humble abode is very much not a modern home. I have lived in this house now for a very long time, and it was lived in before that for a, again, very long time. But it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You know, we can't complain too much. It's just, you know, hot. But what we need to do is cover some of the interesting snippets that we got. So this is the Shadowverse stuff. We'll cover that at the end. Because for now, we're going to do the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. We'll get the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff done. Then we'll change our category to Shadowverse when we do the Shadowverse stuff. I think that's going to be how we approach this. So, first things first. We haven't got any... July 7th, so yeah, we haven't got any of the new deck tournaments. Maybe this one is, the G1X. Let's have a quick peek. I just want to check and see how the new speed decks are performing. This was only a 25-player event, so it's quite small in terms of thingy, but it is a 2-deck event, which is also interesting with the way that they handle the meta. So we've got Rain of Shadows, we got a True King, Cluing Acceleration. Okay. I'm not seeing anything new in this, but this event might have been a older format event and just got updated. It's hard to know. Either way, it's not super important. The important part is that we had a Rush tournament yesterday, because obviously we are a Rush channel. And we had the Cloudy Cup Rush Weekly, or Cloudy City? Cloudy City. Rush Weekly 33. Now, unfortunately for me, the Cloudy City events, they start basically when I want to be asleep. So, it makes it difficult for me to play in these, which is a shame. So I always have to like watch the VOD afterwards. But Shui did actually do the commentary for this, and he did a really good job. So, you know, huge props to Shui for doing that. But this is nothing exciting, realistically, right? Light Galaxy won the tournament. Oh, shocker. I'm sure that has absolutely astounded everyone in chat that Light Galaxy, the undisputed best deck, won another tournament. Ah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yesterday in GP was a bunch of Assault and 2 Gustos. None convert to top. That is a shame. That is a bit of a shame. Last check thing is, Assault beats every deck going first, except Shadow. Well, you'd expect them just to, like, top then just with dumb luck, right? Just go first a lot. E-Hero got another second place finish. Again, this isn't too surprising. We have seen Hero doing quite well. Hero is a bit of a sack deck. The one that actually stands out to me is these two. Because Hero actually has quite a bad matchup into Light Galaxy if both players know what they're doing. So the fact that Hero managed to beat Light Galaxy not once but twice is either like they were on some spice, which they weren't. Spoiler alert, we've seen the list. There's no spice going on. These are like the most lukewarm Hero lists of all time. But to me, it's more the Light Galaxy players didn't know the matchup. I think if you know the matchup, it should be very heavily Light Galaxy favored. So we'll have to see what actually happens there. Baseball being 7th and is still pretty good, not going to lie. Yes, the issue is, again, Rush has enough variance that any of the bad decks can still top. So, for example, we've had Royal Rebels, had 2 top 8s. Now, it hasn't converted to top 4 yet. And getting to top 8 as well sometimes is quite easy and sometimes is quite challenging. It kind of depends, right? Because, like, sometimes you'll just get, like, a bye into, like, playing against someone who, you know, queued up with a pile of weird stuff. This does just happen, right? So not all top 8s are created equally, which is why we try and put more Stoke into top 4. But even then, even top 4 sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. There was an event, I think, where I made it to top 4, and it was basically just free the entire way. Like, there was no way I was dropping a game. Because it was like, opponent didn't show up, got a bye on the first round, and then one opponent, like, they also got a bye, and their deck was complete garbage. They just weren't like a Rush main player, right? Yeah, that does just happen sometimes, and it is a bit funky. But again, still props to Baseball for making it, because they now have two top 8s. Still really impressed with that. And I believe this Baseball list specifically was one playing the Dragonic Resonance. Is it Resonance? No, Pressure. Dragonic Pressure, which is the one which allows it to just OTK. Because that's always been the issue with this deck, is it's, even though this skill does give you ways to get through defense position monsters, the deck is still not very good at actually OTKing through defense position monsters. So by using Dragonic Pressure, you're able to kind of alleviate that weakness a bit, and it means you still kind of have to sack a little bit, because you have to make sure you draw all the right cards in the right order, but it still can do that, which is pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. Now, going second by batting the opponent's effects. Well, in the last tournament, High Tech is not going... Yeah, it's been... High Tech's been a bit of a weird one, because the other thing is a lot of players have stopped playing it as well. So if we look overall, it's still the second best performing deck. But, obviously, there is an upward trend of Hero. It probably wouldn't be that, you know, outlandish of a statement to say that Hero is going to overtake Red Boot soon. But Red Boot is a weird deck, because Red Boot does just kind of fall apart. And we all know this, right? Everyone understands that Red Boot will, like, if you just activate Widespread against their deck, they just kind of die. And that's kind of it. But even so, the deck can still just kill you in one turn relatively consistently, which is kind of scary. But that is kind of it for this. There's, again, nothing like crazy. The actual interesting one for me is Ursus's return to Rush has brought 2 Dark Galaxy fusions into top 8, which is actually pretty good. Because a lot of people basically completely wrote this deck off. And now 2 tournaments back to back, we've seen top 8 finishes. So it'll be interesting to see if Ursus can push that any further. Hello, Tomato. Hello, JD. Welcome, welcome. I gotta go, sadly. Have a good one tonight. Have a good one, Victor. Thanks for stopping by. I use negate attack once against Red Boot Fusion. Immediately opponents surrender. I mean, that happens, right? The issue is the deck doesn't really play back row hate because you want to maximize the OTK. And a lot of the time, you'll only get stopped by a legend. So you go, is it worth running back row hate on the small chance my opponent opens the legend? And most players have decided, no, it's not worth it, just statistically. The chances that the legend's going to stop you should be so low. And if it does, you just go, well, that shouldn't happen 2 out of 3 games, right? So, like, that's kind of how we've ended up there. But, we have also had some Galaxy Cup events over in the OCG. So this was the meta before the ban list was implemented. So as you can see, the dates up here, and we'll go ahead and swap this back over, make it a little bit nicer. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. So as you can see the date here, this was the 28th and 29th. The ban list went into effect on July 1st. So this is pre-ban list, right? This is top 4 deck distribution across 27 decks. And we can see that it's Harpy Lady is this big blue section before the nerfs. We can see this big red section is the Black Chaos. And then it's a mixture of Dice Key and Plasmatic models for the rest. So this is quite dominant tier 0 Harpies, right? Again, before we got the nerfs. Then this is again before the nerfs. So this is just kind of another example of one specific event, which again, it's a little bit more even, but this is just really showing that Harpies and Black Chaos Ritual are like the decks to be. Now, this was another winning deck distribution, but this was only the winning deck. So this one, if we go back over here, this was top 4 of a bunch of different tournaments. This is just the winning deck lists. So once again, this big blue bit, this is Harpies. This red bit, this is Chaos Ritual. So what we're seeing from all of these results is Harpies, tier 0, Chaos Ritual, basically the second best deck. But what we saw was Harpies got hit with the ban hammer. They got hit with so many limits, so many restricts, and Chaos Ritual didn't get any. So we're kind of expecting this to make... I don't know if it will necessarily like reverse or invert, but we're expecting these to be a lot more even. And here we go. So this is top 4 deck distribution across 41 decks. And this is Galaxy Cup from after the ban list. And we can immediately see, a drastic shift in how the meta looks. So first things first, Black Chaos, or, you know, Chaos Ritual, as it's called. This is now the best deck, just over 50%. So it's definitely a dominant tier 1. I wouldn't say just over 50% is like going to be a tier 0, but this is still very, very, very powerful. And then we've got things like Harpy, we got Berry Fresh, and a whole bunch of other different decks. But this looks a lot healthier. Now, obviously, we'd still like to see this pruned down a bit, but this still looks a lot better than it did, right? It's not anything like crazy, but it still looks nice. 5 for 5. Nice one, JD Scrub. Gotta rack it up. Unfortunately, people usually lose their streaks on this channel because of internet problems. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. We'll see what happens. But then we have winning deck distribution. So these are decks that won from the 5th to the weekend of the 5th to the 6th, right? Again, Galaxy Cups. And once again, unfortunately, we don't have all of the breakdown because I can't read this. I could pop this into a translator, but it's not very important. The important part is this looks healthy. Like, look at this. Look at how nice these like pie chart or these pie slices are divided. This is what we want to see from a healthy meta. So once again, we're seeing the largest section be Chaos Ritual, nothing surprising about that. Literally nothing surprising about that whatsoever. But then we're seeing Berry Fresh, we're seeing Delirium. Again, I don't know all of these names, but it's nice to see the meta is getting back into a healthier spot. Now, the issue is, again, we still have a big Ritual Chaos section of this that's maybe a little bit overtuned. So that's kind of the boogeyman of the format now. But outside of that, it's actually looking pretty good. It is actually looking pretty good. Nicely, Rituals are good over in the OCG. Excited to try them. Yes, I mean, before we had the ban list update, it was Plasmatic Model that was sort of like the 3rd/4th best deck, but now it seems to be splitting up again. Having Berry Fresh come back in a big way is also a little bit scary. We'll have to see where that like actually ends up. Where's XQT? I mean, XQT is still in a fine spot. It's not like a bad deck. It's just maybe not as strong as some of these other decks. But hello, Serena. Welcome on in. But it's going to be interesting to see how this translates, because we have our... So Monosync. Everyone should know Mono. Mono's lovely. Monosync runs his weekly OCG events, and I'm curious to see if these changes will translate over to that. Because already we started to see people in the OCG events have started... like, kind of doing their own thing, like, not necessarily just playing, like, the strongest meta decks. And another interesting thing, Animagica nowhere to be seen. Did Berry get unhit? No. I mean, I can look it up, actually. We can go and take a quick look at the Rush dual ban list. And go ahead and find that quick, and then we can have a look at it and see what exactly changed. And how we've shaken up the meta. So, we got Animagica Gardener down to 1. Celebro's Warlock. Wait, where are the changes? There we go. Yeah, Animagica Gardener. We saw Harpy Lady 1. We do this. Harpy Lady 1 and Harpy Lady 2 are now both limit 1. Harpy Lady Petmaster is now limit 1. Delirium Embrace is now limit 1. Harpy Lady 1, 2, and 3 is now limit 1. So Berry Fresh Shy got from limit 1 to limit 2. This card is actually kind of crazy. This is one of the strongest Berry Fresh cards. So maybe this card being at 2 is what has allowed Berry Fresh to make a bit of a comeback. Because this is like arguably the best Berry Fresh card. Now some people will probably disagree with that because there is like the boss monsters, for example, that can like boost their attack up to a ridiculous amount. You can also splash them in other decks. But this is like what really makes the deck strong in my opinion. What do these deck lists look like? We can grab some. What's the quickest way I can do this? Probably by doing this, and then this, and then this. So this is typically a Twitter page where they upload winning deck lists. So it shouldn't take us long. So this is a Berry Fresh list. Now, it's not going to be easy to see, right? Because it's obviously a physical list. But, you know, it is what it is. Animagica nowhere to be seen. Say that to Hikari. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it translates, right? But, yeah, this is a typical Berry Fresh list. There's nothing too spicy in here. Probably this is the spiciest card, being Vanity's Fiend. And this is just in here because this is a hard counter to Ritual decks. Other than that, this looks fairly standard. Yeah, I think this is fairly standard. This is a Delirium list with some of the Ninsects as like a backup engine, it looks like. Again, the quality is not the greatest. Then we have... This is the new Harpies after the nerfs. Obviously still doing well, just not as well as it was. Here we have a plant. How did the plants do? I need to find this out, actually. I need to see how the plants did. If we click into this. It didn't say... It doesn't say, like, if these won. These were just the tournament, the decks that were showcased. So, we had plants. This is Delirium. This is Harpies. And this is Sidra. So, nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, it would have been nice to see if it actually won or not. It just literally says it was there. So, it's like, I don't know what to take from that. But the thing to remember is a lot of the Japanese locals. So right now we have things called Galaxy Cups going on, and Galaxy Cups are like they're like regionals, right? They're massive invite events. Typically, you have to like qualify into them, or you go to a small Galaxy Cup, and that qualifies you to like Galaxy Cup finals. But these are like the big premier events. The closest, the Galaxy Cup finals is the closest thing we have to OCG Rush Worlds. So these are the big events, and these are the tournaments where you'll get like 32 to like 128 participants. These are like the actual big ones. The actual locals, like these, for example, typically these sort of events have somewhere between like 5 and 12 participants. Like these are usually quite small because there are a lot of locals in Japan, but they're all really, really small. So like it's the Galaxy Cups are where you really want to get your results from, because that's where, you know, there's going to be a lot more data, is the long and short of it. But what else got changed? We had elemental circulation. Got semi. No, not my elemental circulation. Elegant Egotist. Ghost Cyclone. Ghost Cyclone got limited. I didn't realize that. I say that. I did do a react to this ages and ages and ages ago, but still just one forbidden card. Screw you, barrier statue. But that is kind of it for the Rush side of things. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and update our category to Shadowverse, because we're going to get into the Shadowverse stuff. So first things first. Have you guys been playing the Shadowverse event? Because there was an old event that was going on, and that was the grind ranked until the chests randomly show up, and then you win the game where there's like a chest on the line, and then you get basically nothing in the chest, and that event sucked. And now we have a new event, and this is the Grand Prix. And the Grand Prix is fine, but there is a slight issue with the Grand Prix, and that is it wants a lot of your time. And this is something I keep seeing with these Shadowverse events, is they really want to just suck your time. And I don't like that. So, for example, when you play in the last event, like the chest ranked event, or whatever we're calling it, it felt like they wanted you to just grind and grind and grind ranked. Now that's fine. That's whatever, right? Incentivizing people to grind rank, that is fine. The issue is it's all so random. You don't know if you have to play 15 ranked games or if you have to play 5 ranked games. And the difference, especially depending on what deck you play, if you're playing like an aggro go face deck, maybe that's not going to take very long. If you're playing a control deck, suddenly playing 5 ranked games, that could be like an hour, right? Depending on like what rank you're in, depending on like the quality of the game. So like, effectively, that event felt like it kept making me play like 3 hours of ladder every day. Now don't get me wrong, I would love to sit there and just be like, I can happily play 3 hours of ladder every day, but I can't, right? There will be times where I have just 3 hours of spare time in the day. I don't want to spend every waking moment of my spare time playing ladder. So then we have this new event. And this new event is like, it's fine on paper. If you win it on your first go, if you get your 4 out of 5 wins, which we did, I managed to get 4 wins on my first run through the event. It's not too bad, right? But at the same time, for playing those 5 games, I received a legend ticket. So it's like a pack with a legend inside, guaranteed legend, right? And that's a really good prize to get. So I'm now incentivized to keep grinding this event, because theoretically I could get another 5 legend cards out of it. So I want the prizes, right? But it's like, do I want them enough to invest that much time? Because again, every time I play 5 games, that could be an hour of my time. And it's just, it just comes down to, I don't feel like Shadowverse respects time. But at the same time, it's not demanding I play, right? I could just not. But I want the rewards. So it's put me in a weird position where I now feel bad that I don't have the time to invest into it. And that, I don't know, that puts me in just a really weird place mentally, where I'm like, the game isn't like, it's not like holding a gun to my head and being like, you have to play this. But it's saying, you've got to play a crap ton of this game, or you're gonna fall behind, basically, or you're gonna miss out on stuff. You're not gonna fall behind. I think that's not the correct like mentality to have. But you are going to, again, you're gonna miss out on stuff. And it's like, oh, I want the stuff. I like stuff. But I like, if I directly compare this to Duel Links usually is quite, it respects my time enough that it's like, yeah, could you like log in like every, I don't know, 4 hours for like 2 to 3 minutes and like mash some auto duel, and you'll basically just finish all the events. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. I like doing that. That's fine, right? It doesn't take too much time. I don't have to pay too much attention to it. But Shadowverse, I think, just again, it's just really time demanding. But that being said, like we said, we did manage to get our 4 wins immediately. So we have already qualified. We're in Group A, which is great. That's fine. That's hunky dory. But for today, we had some reveals. So we're going to scroll down till we get to the start of the reveals, which I think is here. Because I want to watch all of this. I want to see the reveals. I want to watch all these videos. I want to see what's going on. I want to basically get caught up because we didn't get to watch any of the stream. So we're going to go ahead and just like chuck these on, I guess. This is too small. Should I make this bigger? I feel like this is too big. Maybe it's fine. Also, the quality of this is really bad. This might just be my internet load.
Peace is a fragile thing, all too easily shattered and devoured with ravenous glee. So avert not your eyes. Stay ever vigilant, for new threats are
Okay, that looks pretty sick.
Even should the world freeze,
I've heard this is Dragoncraft. This lady. I've heard this lady is Dragoncraft. It does hold true with the tail and the horns.
you must heed the call. You must awaken the infinite potential that slumbers within.
Well, Hikaru would be happy about that. 2 different types of pretty boy.
Worlds beyond. Infinity evolved.
Infinity evolved, huh? Okay. Hello, Manicus.
A new infinity.
And that comes out in 1 week as well. So, what do we do about? So the ban, there wasn't actually like a new ban list for Rush in OCG. There was just the results of the ban list, right? So we've got to see like some tournament results because Galaxy Cup's going on at the moment. That's like the big takeaway. But let's take a look at some of these card reveals. So this is a neutral card. So this is Odin. This is one of the pretty boys that we got to see. Fanfare, select an enemy card on the field and banish it. What is banish? Does banish just mean destroy? Is banish like it's gone but you can't bring it back with the random bring cards back cards? A 7-drop 4/2 Storm. This is kind of scary because this means that any deck that doesn't already have Storm access could now have this plus a Super Evolve and just threaten 7 extra damage. When I say extra damage, it's still 7 drop, so it's not going to be a lot on top of what you already have. Can't reanimate, no last word. Okay, okay, so pretty much what you'd expect. I don't know how good this card is going to be, if I'm honest. And I don't mean, like, I think this is bad. What I mean is I genuinely don't know what decks are immediately going to slot this in. I think this is going to be one of those cards where after, like, a week, we'll have people that have tried this out and everything, and they will have come to conclusions about which decks this belongs and which ones it doesn't. I think this card has a lot of potential. Like, definitely has potential. I just don't know where it's going to land. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. Like, is there any creature right now in the game, or any follower, that you just, like, you do not want its last words to go off? Like, the only one I can think of that's, like, really, really annoying is the... What is it called? The fairy from Haven that comes back after a couple turns. Like, that is the only card where I'm like, no, that card, like, killing that is actively detrimental, but you can't leave it alone either. Dragon aggro could use it. I mean, potentially, but they have their own, like, big storm girl. So I don't know if it will be super useful in there or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Lapis. Is Lapis, is that her name? Again, I'm really bad with names. I'm really, really bad with names. So you have to forgive my my terminology. Yeah, this looks okay. What do we have here? Ginsetsu and Yuzuku, Twin Calamities. Okay, Abysscraft. So, right, we know Abysscraft is in a little bit of a yikes place. Now, Abysscraft actually has really good legends already. I feel like what Abyss is lacking is, like, more good low drop cards more than anything. I feel like, again, their late game is actually not awful. It's their early game that feels a little bit rough. And they're not very good at transitioning when they do go late, right? They don't have a lot of draw power, at least not a lot of like meaningful draw power, so they tend to run out of steam. But they're like, their bosses are actually really good. Yeah, but this removes a ward potential. I mean, yeah, definitely could. You could remove Artifact Cannon, for example, or Godwood. I don't know if I would. I mean, maybe. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. But anyway, what does this card do? 5/9. So 5/9 is a bit... So, in Shadowverse, I feel like Shadowverse is almost a game about wiping each other's boards over and over and over again. I feel like most decks are just going to sit there and wipe each other's boards. If you're not wiping out your opponent's board, you are just going face, right? Those are the two modes. You're going face or you're wiping out your opponent's board. And in some situations, you're doing both of those things. So whenever I see a card that has low power and high health, I'm always like, this card probably isn't surviving a turn, so it having 9 health, I'm not sure if it matters that much. Especially because 9 is in that weird place where a Genesis Dragon will just kill this. But anyway, let's read the effect. Fanfare. Select a mode to activate. 1. Summon 4 copies of One-Tailed Fox. Or 2. Destroy 4 random enemy followers to restore 4 defense. Okay. Okay. I don't like random. That's my first initial thought with this. First off, if it destroys 4 random enemies, most of the time, that's going to be your opponent's entire board. I don't think there's going to be that many opportunities where your opponent's going to have all 5 out, unless you're against, like, Sword. Maybe you're against Forest or something, right? For the most part, 4 is going to wipe the board. Restore 4 defense to your leader is also really, really good. I can imagine you'll be in a situation where you're like, alright, as long as this hits that 1 follower out of 5, I win the game, and then it's going to absolutely dodge that follower that you needed to kill, and it's going to feel so bad. I think big body is relevant, though, especially on Evo or Super Evo. I don't know if it is. I am constantly in a situation where I've been like, I could Super Evolve here, and then make it harder for him to deal with. And then they'll just deal with it anyway. They just have like a one-shot effect, and they'll just like pop it. So I don't know. At least in my experience, I feel like high survivability cards hasn't come up that much. There's been like certain thresholds that have been important, right? So for example, if I have a ward follower and it has more than 5 health, I'm like, well, if my opponent's gonna Omega me, then having this alive means he can't kill me, right? So there's like little specific situations like that, but 4 random followers versus Amalia could be tilting. Exactly. That's exactly the sort of thing that I'm talking about. But let's take a look at the One-Tailed Fox. Rush, Ward, Last Words, give a random ally Gintetsu and Yuzu twin. Okay. So the whole thing with this is, you can drop this down, immediately drop 4 of these, ram them into the enemy board to trade their entire board away ideally, and then also buff Gintetsu and Yuzuku up to a 9, and then you could Super Evolve it and then theoretically get 12 damage in. That could be kind of scary. Thank you for the follow, Adiotech. Welcome, welcome. Part of me is like, does this matter? Does this fit in with the Abysscraft strategy? I almost feel like this wants to go in its own direction. Because we've already got, like, Serb, we've already got, oh god, what's her name? Be swallowed! Be swallowed! I forget what her name is. You know the one. The one that attacks and just, like, kills things immediately. Can attack 3 times. But, I don't know. I think this card is cool, like, thematically. I don't know how good it's going to be in practice. But when we see the rest of the set, maybe it'll all just come together, right? We need more Abyss that summon guys. I think more than that, I want more Abyss control tools. I want more, like, draw power in Abyss. That's what I want. Like, I feel like if you just don't run out of gas, Abyss is actually really good, like, early, mid, and late. But they just run out of gas. They just run out of cards and then lose against control decks. So, I don't know. It feels weird. Here we have a Dragoncraft follower. This is the one that was in the animation. Fanfare, if you're an overflow, add White Forest Whisper to your hand. It has Bane, and evolve, deal 1 damage to all followers. Okay, this is like a 2-drop 2/2 with Bane is already fine. It also has the Fanfare, which can be good. I don't know what this does. And if you evolve it, 1 damage to all enemy followers, that can be relevant. It's not going to be relevant like a ton of the time, but it can be. And this is select mode to activate, destroy all damaged enemy followers. Okay, that suddenly makes this evolve a lot stronger. Increase the cost of all cards in your opponent's hand by 1 until the end of their turn. That's a really funny, like, soft floodgate. That is really weird. I don't. Where does this go? Like, is this an aggro? I guess this is kind of everything. I think you could play this in any dragon list, right? You could play this in aggro dragon, and you can play this in ramp dragon, and it would be fine in both. Yeah, I think this is just a good card, just all around. Like, it's fine, right? I'm going to use this. The rage this will induce will be funny. Oh, do you mean like the floodgate part of the effect? The other question is White Forest Whisper, is that just going to be a card as well? I assume it will be, rather than just like you can only get it via this. Alright, let's check this out.
However, after examining the remains of our fallen comrades,
is this just story?
Some may argue for all we know.
Okay, it looks like it's just story. I don't really want to like focus on that because that might, you know, be spoilers for people that actually are really invested in the story. But let's see what this is. This is the Battle Pass Season 2. A new sword... Right. Alright. Now, I know people really like their waifu. I know people really like the Swordcraft waifu. This appeals to me. This is like, I am the demographic for this leader. Like, this is... He looks like a judge from Final Fantasy XII. Like, bro looks sick. This is my aesthetic.
Good day to you. Not bad.
God, he's so British.
No. Burn bright.
God, the quality is just dying. I don't know why the quality is so bad on Twitter.
Good day to you.
Give me high quality. Alright. Either way. I think that looks cool. You play it as a 2-drop and sometimes get the upside. Whisper historically hasn't been a card by itself. Okay, we're interesting to see if it is this time or not, because they could do anything, right? There's a free structure event again at 2 for a new structure. Ooh, I like free things. And I like, especially like new player friendly events. So I am very happy about both of those things. Alright, next card, Runecraft. So this is the Earthright boss. So we've been waiting for an Earthright boss for a long time because, you know, we wanted an Earthright boss and instead we got Kuon, who is just like one of the best cards in the game, full stop. And thus, you know, is basically not an Earthright boss. So we have Lilanthim, Anathema of Edacity. Edacity? Okay. 8-drop 5/5. Aura. Okay, Aura is a really powerful effect. I think a lot of people underestimate Aura. Aura is actually really, really good and can be really, really gross. The only issue I have is Aura without, like, Ward is not as intimidating. Last words, Earthright 2. Summon another copy of this card. So as long as you have Earthright, you just get infinite Lilanthim. Super Evolve, select 2 enemy followers on the field and destroy them. This is going to give you insane grind game and can... Obviously, popping 2 followers is really good. But Sylvia from Portal just does this and is not a legend. So, like... I don't know. Like... Does Earthright need super endgame grind game? I feel like what it needs is like a bit of power, and this isn't that. Like being able to pop 2 guys out the way is still really good, and potentially store a really strong effect. But I don't know. Like to me, this isn't a build around, right? I'm waiting for like a different Earthright boss that is a build around that's like my win con. A portal card being overtuned compared to another class, I'm shocked. Exactly. We have a 3-cost 5/5 ward. I mean, that's obviously good, but like, that in itself still isn't like a win con. New keyword rally. Alright, let's see what this rally is first. Counts the number of allied followers that have entered the field during the match. Some abilities only activate if your rally count is equal to or greater than the specified number. Okay. So this is Swordcraft. Also, this art goes so hard, man. I love this art. Like, I love, like, the darkness at the back, the spotlight, the katana, and it's like a blue glowy katana. Like, this looks sick. So, fanfare, Rally 20. So, this is a hyper endgame card. I assume Rally is going to trigger, even if you don't, like, put the follower down from your hand. So, like, when you create followers, I assume that's going to still stack up Rally. You get to just Super Evolve. So this gets to Super Evolve for free, late game. Whenever another allied follower enters the field, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. So again, that could be pretty gross. Although I think the most you're going to get out of that is probably going to be like 4, like realistically. When this follower evolves, summon 2 copies of Steelclad Knight and give them Rush. Ooh, that's actually pretty gross. So you can go, drop this down, Super Evolve it, immediately drop down 2 Steelclads. Now, is this going to trigger its on Super Evolve effect? Rally does count tokens. Okay, that's good to know. So, Olivia, when Olivia Super Evolves something, they don't get their on Super Evolve effect activated. So, will her Evolve effect work because it's worded differently to Olivia? Does anyone know the answer to this question? Rally 20 is turn 8 on a good day, more likely 9. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting, right? It means, like, on turn 6, this is not going to be... I mean, this still could be a good, like... Now, turn 6 specifically, this is going to be a really shit card to play. I think that if you don't have the Rally, is it even worth putting this card on the board? Like, it's just an It's an overcosted, undervalued card. If you don't get the effect off. Because don't forget, if you're putting this down on turn 6, you're not playing any other followers, realistically. So you're not going to get this effect off. And yes, Evolve is different to when this follower evolves. Okay. That's good to know. Agil is worded like the ramp Evo, so it should trigger itself. That's good to know. That's good to know. In OG Shadowverse, there was a really effect that summoned a guy. A rally effect that summoned a guy from deck with its own rally. Rally can be busted. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. For sure. For sure. But I do like this card. Right, who's next? So we have Haven. Haven. Wilbert. Desolate Paladin. Now, I do quite like Paladins. I don't think this guy looks like a Paladin. Bro is not clad in armor. Bro is wearing, like... I don't know. Cloth, by the look of it. So, Ward. Last words. Summon 2 copies of Holy Cavalier. Evolve. Gain crest Wilbert Desolate Paladin. The crest is whenever an allied follower of Ward enters the field, give it +1/+2. I assume you can't stack crests, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. If I had like 2 of these, I evolved 2 of them, I'm not going to get like 2 of this crest, right? I'm not going to like be able to stack this. What's Holy Cavalier? It's a 1/2 Ward. Okay. So this is just like Ward Matters. This is Ward Matters the card. The Ketchup Man is back. Hello, Zaki boys. Welcome, welcome. The crest can be stacked currently. So that makes this suddenly a lot more interesting. Because if you put down your guys and they're getting +2/+4, and all your wards are coming down. The only issue is, again, I could see this being really, really good into aggro and mid-range and really bad into control. But I think that's like by design, right? 5 unique crests only. I mean, no crest can be stacked. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, that is very important then. Because if this is just 1-2, again, this is going to be annoying for aggro decks. I don't think it's going to matter much else beyond that. The crest is for the whole game. Yeah, but I don't think that matters as much if the game isn't going to go long. Like, you have to think about it like this. Most games aren't going to go past turn like 12, 13, 14. And by that, I mean like your own turn. So this is going to go down at earliest turn 6. You then evolve it. And then you're going to get like probably around 6 turns, if everything's going your way, of being able to make use of this. Which like isn't a bad thing. Like 6 turns are still 6 turns. But I don't know if you'll even play ward every single turn. I think this has potential. I'm excited to build around this. Like, this is my kind of card. But again, I think this is going to be super, super strong into aggro decks and not so good into control decks. But again, that's what this sort of card should be, right? Let's check this out. Why is the quality so bad, bro? Like, what is going on? It says it's in 720p. This doesn't look like 720p.
There's no salvation for me or anyone.
Repent.
Leave me alone.
Okay. I like how we have to do this over 2 turns. Okay, that's good to know then. So even when he dies, his crest will be activated before he summons the 2 guys.
Are you sure?
That means the actual value of him is really high. Because he's a 4/6 for 6 that when it dies floats into 2/2/4s. Like, just as a standalone card, this is just a good card. Like, I could see you playing this even if you're not playing, like, Ward Matters. What do we have here? Infinity Evolved Card Pack Tickets Release Missions. Card set release celebration missions will be added every day for 3 days. Complete all of them to get 10 Infinity Evolved Card Pack Tickets. Okay, this is exciting. I mean, I like free stuff. Right, let's see what's going on here. Right. Are you in the right quality? You gonna mess it up again?
Peace is a fragile thing.
Is this just the same?
All too easily shattered.
Is this the same trailer but with this on the bottom now? It is. It's literally the same trailer but with get free stuff attached to it. Okay, is that it? Is that all of the reveals? I remember that Haven has a lot of annoying ward units as well as Almirage. So the thing with Haven is it already has sort of a Ward Matters like strategy built into it. Like it kind of already has that. So this is just gonna like make that stronger. It's sort of like how right now Rune has like Earthright as a strategy, but it's not really fleshed out. Whereas because of they're getting a... But again, I still don't really know if I think... Where was it? What was the Rune one? This one. I still don't know if this is like... I don't think this is a bad card. I don't know if this is going to allow Earthright to be super powerful individually. I think you'd still need other stuff to go with it. Like, there's still going to be other cards we haven't seen yet in the set, right? So there will be other Earthright cards. But I don't look at this and go, ah, my Earthright deck works now that I have a Lilianthem, right? Did you saw the feet background? I have not seen the feet background. I do not know what that means. It's funny that they had to kill the English version of the exchange ticket reveal because they leaked another leader by accident. That's so funny. Who did they reveal? Like, do we know who it is? At least it has aura, so it won't So it won't be Odin. I think Odin looks cool. Like, he's a little bit plain, but it looks fine. But yeah, he has aura, so he won't be affected by it, which is pretty good. Imagine if this got Odin. Imagine if this got banished, and you would just be like, well, fuck me, I guess. That would be, like, actually catastrophic. Odin Rip Lapis, Unspoken Vessel. Kagemitsu is... Yeah, I mean, Kagemitsu's not going to enjoy that, let's be honest. Link got nuked. I recommend going to Different Fight on Twitter for a bunch of translations on events and features they didn't post. Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot post links in the chat as an anti-bot thing. But yeah, we can go and check out Different Fight. Good old Chris. I assume he did a restream of the entire thing. That's a very Different Fight thing. Because he's the ambassador, I believe. That's it. English ambassador, Shadowverse Evolve. Not quite the same thing, but yeah. Is that Legend of Dragoon? Yes, this is Legend of Dragoon. Aether in Shadowverse 1 was good for tutoring your deck. Not sure if it will be the same this time. Like, I didn't play, like, a ton of Shadowverse 1. Or, like, the original Shadowverse. I played it, like, very casually. I've gotten a lot more into Shadowverse 2 than I did Shadowverse 1. It's on the JP YouTube channel. Well, we'll have a look on here for now. But also, hello, Brad. Welcome on in. They removed the English one due to the leader leak. Hopefully, they don't get the Earthroat on card. I really like the gimmick. Well, so I think calling it a gimmick is a bit weird, right? It's like a full mechanic. So all players will get to choose one free new deck with the release of Set 2 and Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. There will be no requirements of missions this time, so just choose one after logging in after Set 2 releases. So we don't know what these decks are yet, but we can assume we're going to get one of probably all the cards that we just revealed, right? So I assume all of these are the cards that will be the face cards for the boxes. So if you want this card, you should be able to just get one free copy immediately. That is interesting, though. What card would I even want? I mean, my Abyss account will probably grab this. That's not too much to worry about. I'm not going to go Dragon. Have we seen a Portal one? Rune, Sword, Haven. So Rune, Sword, Haven, Dragon. Is that what we've seen? Abyss. So who haven't we seen? We haven't seen Portal, we haven't seen Forest. Okay. Now, those are arguably the two best decks in the game right now. So what is the bet that either those cards are going to be overpowered and people are going to be like, what are you doing, Cygames? What? You can't let these two overpowered decks have more overpowered tools? Or the exact opposite, and they're going to be so mid as an attempt to balance those decks. It'll be interesting to see what actually ends up happening there. Only 6 reveals, 2 more if you pause on a frame for the Wilbert vid. Yeah, I saw that. There was a super rare. Like, I don't know. What's it called? What's a super rare called in Shadowverse? A gold bordered card, one of them. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. New event coming to Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, Battlefest, that will turn the entire park into festival grounds where players choose one of 3 teams to represent. The first one will be held in August. Okay, so this is going to be like the Pokemon Go thing, where like you choose if you're like red, yellow, or blue, and then you just like earn points for your faction or whatever, I take it. Or like maybe do a slightly different example, like what's that? The Splatoon, right? In Splatoon, you pick your side. Allow you to pick your favorite new card style as your team. Dragon Sign, Insight, and Puppet. The team that wins will have that card style distributed to all players, with the other 2 purchasable from the shop. Okay, okay. Take-Two returns Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. Some changes. You can't pick from all classes instead of... Oh, you can pick from all classes. They will preview 2 of the high-rarity cards you drop before you pick a class. Okay. So it's like, oh, you can play Forest, but these are your bosses. That could be fun. That could be fun. I'm a bit worried if it's like got really good rewards attached to it, and it's going to have a little bit of RNG in what you actually get to play. Yeah, draft. I really like drafting in games, personally. I'm a big draft fan, so... New contest for Shadow Worlds Beyond to help beginners. Puzzle lesson. Try to find lethal in various situations. I love this sort of thing as well. I've always been a big fan of this. So I like it in Duel Links as well. So this is fun. I like this, especially if there's rewards attached to it. Grandmaster will be implemented in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond in set 3, not 2. Okay, I mean that doesn't mean anything realistically. It's whatever. Master point rankings introduced. End of season receive vials, pack tickets, and other rewards based on your ranking. Top 3 ranked players get a special flair. Neat. I'm not going to grind to be one of the top 3 players. I can already tell you that right now, so that is irrelevant to me specifically. Some tidbits not officially English translated from set 2 reveal stream. The card collection card style was set 2 will be Made Angel. Neat. I never get these events. What if the whole community agrees to pick one team and we all just win and get rewards? Well, then everyone's a winner, right? This isn't... I just looking at this, I'm just like, I think that's everything, right? The first dragon leader got the dogs out. Come on, Chris, what are we doing here, mate? I mean, I'm excited. I am very excited for this. I am genuinely very excited. I don't know what I'm going to pick. I guess I'll wait until the decks are out, right? It's only 7 days away. I assume we'll be getting more reveals, like, every day as we approach. Or, like, if not every day, we'll get them, like, a big load of them towards the release date. At the top, there's also changes to daily missions. Ooh, let's have a look at that. The first 2 mission examples doing the solo mode will still count. Lobby missions will be back for set 2. Same style as the first one, so don't forget to do your lobby match every day. Okay. Change to how daily missions will work in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. All dailies will reset at the same time at 5 AM JST. That is actually so nice. Because right now, because the reset isn't 24 hours, so it incentivizes you to do them earlier and earlier and earlier. And it's just a nightmare. I actually just hate that. Like, as someone who doesn't get a lot of spare time, that really bothers me. Again, I don't think that Shadowverse should cater directly to me, but this is a change that helps me out a ton. Conceding early in lobby match and quest weekly, daily Shadowverse part quests will no longer satisfy the mission requirements. Okay, did that matter? I guess as long as your opponent... Because the thing that's always bothered me is some of the quests will say, like the lobby quests will be like, when neither player disconnects, or whatever, when neither player, like, surrenders. And then, like, you're completely at your opponent's mercy, because if they just decide to surrender, you don't really have any control over that. Daily missions will require less wins, e.g. battle 3 times because battle 2 times. That is a big change as well. Battle 5 times. To be fair, I think it should be 3 maximum. I think it should be 3 and 1, not 4 and 2, but it's whatever. Win 2 rank, win 4 rank, win 1 rank, win 2 rank. That's also fine. I think 2 is the maximum. I don't know. I could go to 3. I think 4 is way too many, and I think 1 is fine. Like, for me, this should be 3-1. This should be 3-1. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird for thinking that. Oh, they said the daily reveals on stream. Yeah, new card reveals every day from various outlets and social media accounts. Oh, okay. I'm excited for that. Very excited for that. I am curious. This is what has me the most interested. I want to see the other face cards of these decks. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Portal and Forest as, like, 2 of the first reveals. Just so that we have an idea of which, like, deck people are going to want. I'm really... Because the other thing is, I still haven't built a second deck on my main account. Like, I've got a lot of cards towards second decks. Like, I've got a lot of Haven, and I've got, like, realistically not enough to do Rune, even though, like, if you're playing competitively, like, if you're entering a tournament, you'd probably want to take, like, Rune Portal, right? They're just, like, the 2 strongest tournament performing decks. Obviously, there's still things like Forest, which is still unbelievably strong. Sword has also been unbelievably good as well. I think it kind of came out of nowhere. People were kind of already like, Sword was like day 1, Sword OP. Then it was like day 3, Sword crap. And then it was like week 3, Sword is sort of great again, but it depends how you build it. And there's like 3 different builds going around. And it's very hard to judge exactly where it is. I really hope that things don't get shaken up too much. It's a weird one. I want the decks that were considered bad to get a bit of a buff, but I don't want them to just, like, absolutely murder the good decks, right? Forest needs a big brain. I don't know. I think Forest has growing pains, but I think beyond that, it's just adding up how many combo you can get on Roach and how many times you can bounce it and shit. Like, there's not a ton going on, right? It's like, if you have Godwood, you can bounce it. If you have Carbuncle, you can bounce it and you can get your play points. Then it's just like min-maxing how much you can put on the board, but then you have to make room on the board as well because you have to make room to play other stuff. Forest lethal into Ward is the tricky part. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. But I think Ward is always going to be a problem for, like, decks that play that sort of strategy, right? So big brain, that's what I said. I guess it's one of those... In my opinion, I always see decks that are trying to do one thing over and over and over again. I don't look at them as requiring too much, like, brain power. To me, it's a deck that has a shit ton of different options, and you have to find out what is exactly the best option. Like, in my mind, those are the decks that are the big brain decks, quote unquote. Now, as for what that is right now in Shadowverse, oh, I don't know, to be honest. You have to be playing a deck that has access to a lot of draw power so that you have all these different options. You also have to play a deck that's got a lot of different plays it can make and that can pivot. Probably like Amulet Haven to an extent. The only issue with Amulet Haven is a lot of their plays aren't immediate plays. You have to plan ahead of time, and in some ways that is a lot more challenging, and in some ways it sort of doesn't matter because it's in the future, right? So it depends how you, like, think about it, or like what you value more. It's a weird one. I do think that, again, I know people are going to disagree, but I do think that Portal, specifically Artifact Portal, is a deck that is a big brain deck. The issue again becomes when you've played, 400 games of a deck, does it matter that it's a big brain deck because you've already memorized all of the combos and you're going to end up doing the same thing over and over again. So it's like, it's kind of whatever. It doesn't really count anymore at that point. Managing artifacts is kind of skill testing. If you craft the wrong one in the match, you could just lose. Yes. I mean, that happened to us on stream on Tuesday, right? We literally got to a point where we were like, if we had made... I already forget his name. If we had made the 5-1 instead of the 1-5, we would have won the game, but we didn't, so we lost. And it's also a deck that can pivot. Not a lot of decks have the option to pivot. Like, if you're playing, like, aggro dragon, how do you pivot on aggro dragon to not being aggro? Like, you've built the deck to be aggro dragon. You're not pivoting into anything. You're just going to keep going face and hope. Portal Big Brain is, like, really hard Latin exam, but it's multiple choice and both answers are correct. I mean... So what you're describing almost sounds like the deck building, right? It's a weird one. I think that you pivot to face, but you're already on face. You just pivot from face into face. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what, like, I actually think, like, a real big brain Shadowverse deck is. I think playing Abyss well is... It requires a head on your shoulders, but it's not because the deck is complicated to play. It's because you get punished for making mistakes. Like, if you, at any point, I feel like, put a card down at the wrong time in Abyss, then you just get absolutely murdered, right? You get... So it's not that the deck is, like, difficult, it's that it's very punishing. It's very unforgiving. Faces the place. Taunt is cheat. Yeah, Ward should be removed from the game so that my face aggro deck can win more games. But yeah, I'm excited for these changes. I'm looking forward to seeing the new cards that do come out. I am also really... I think actually the most exciting part for me is this. Like, this tells me that because of how they're doing this, they might change the future events as well to be less demanding of my time. And I think that is only ever a positive. I should be incentivized to play the game more without feeling like I'm being wronged for not doing it, right? It's like, I think a lot of other games have done the same thing, where they're like, oh, you can still keep grinding out stuff, but like, realistically, the gains you're going to get are so minimal unless you play like ridiculous numbers of games. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But we're not going to be sticking around for much longer, unfortunately, guys. The stream is not going to last a whole lot longer. But before we do go away, what I do think we should do is open our packs. We're going to have a little bit of a pack opening, and then we're probably going to end it here. Because I am still mentally exhausted. I need to go and get some food. And I still don't know what I'm doing with this event. So have you guys all done the Grand Prix event? Have you all done the Grand Prix? Well, first things first, let's open this. An SR. Who's it going to be? Oh. It's Ancient Cannon. This is dust. Or I suppose it's vials. So, I've just knocked something over my desk, don't worry about that. So, the big thing that I have with this current event is... I mean, where is the event? Can I like... Okay, Grand Prix. So, I have already gotten to Stage 2, right? We're advancing to Stage 2 in Group A. But I can just keep going and playing more events. My question to you guys is, do you think it's worth it? Are you shirtless because it's too hot? Yes, I am, Parko. I'm shirtless and proud. Like, should I be grinding out these events? I don't really want to. It's a lot of time. It's not worth it. There we go. I don't look at the events. I assume they're all at times I'm working. This event is just on all the time. This is just... Never go... Like, this event is on for the next... It's today and tomorrow. Because it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And then you have to qualify for the next stage. It, like, 3 hours to grind. Yeah, that's exactly my point, Snaze. That is why I don't want to do it, but I want the rewards. Because, again, I can do this. I can absolutely do this. But it means I'm not having an evening to myself. Right? It'll be like, finish all the work for the day, eat food, go on Shadowverse, go to bed. That will be my day if I do this event every day. I'm not sure what you get for 0 wins. If you still get a pack, you could self-DK. That's not a bad shout, actually. That's not a bad shout. Might look at it later, I guess. Based on the first one, I thought they were short and during my working times. So this one is quite... That's not helpful. Where's the information bit? Here we go. This one is literally you have to play 5 games, and then depending on how well you do in those games, you go into Group A or Group B. So right now, because I won 4 out of 5 games, I'm going into Group A when Stage 2 starts. And then if Stage 2, if I do well there, I go to Group A finals. If I don't do well there, I go to Group B finals. But you don't just have one chance to get in. You can technically have 9 chances total if you spend gems. If you play... So if you start today and you do everything, you have 4 chances. So you have 4 runs where you have to get 4 out of 5 wins to get into Group A. That's like fundamentally how the event works. Just 5 games is fine, but 15 games is, yeah. It's not even just 15, because if you want to do the event mission to get the extra chance, that's another game, so it's 16 games. And you have to win this. So if you go into this game, like if you go into like a ranked or an unranked, and you just get like sacked by something, that's now an extra game you have to play. And it's like, ah! Are the rewards worth? So I got, from my reward, I got a legend pack. Where are they? Do I not have a legend pack? I thought I got a legend pack. No, I got a Legends Rise pack. I got 1 pack. That's all I got. I just got a pack. Which, speaking of which, we might as well open these, right? We got 4 of them. We can't do anything to them. They're always going in here, right? Super rare. Whoa. Dose of holiness. Where's my super rare gonna be? I hope it's more than 1, because 1 super rare across 4 packs is pretty mediocre. Well, maybe this will be a banger. Maybe we'll get 3. It's Liu Feng, and it's a new card. Well, that was very uninteresting. The good rewards are in the finals, so I'd save the tickets since they don't expire. Oh, can you just, like, save them for, like, next time they do a Grand Prix? Like, so that the event comes back in, like, 3 months or something? I went 2-3 my first time, then 4-1 my second with the Kagemitsu Sword deck. Nice. I got a Legend pack for 1 win yesterday and 2 wins today. That event is kicking my ass. Well, still, 1 win and getting a pack is not that bad, right? You could just, like, get a win and then tank the rest. I don't know for 0, though. That's the thing. Just wait for JP to go to bed for easier games. Yeah, I do need to play... Oh, I need to get my dailies done at some point today as well. But that's kind of the only thing I need. 129? That's the other thing, is I don't know if I want to bother getting the rest of this set. Like, part of me is like, I shouldn't bother grinding out this set. I should wait until the new set reveals come out and then work out what I want from there, right? But we'll see, we'll see. But, smashed my 4-win ranked games in 4 games, though. Oh, did you see, by the way, Sam? We were talking about this earlier, but there's the rank changes that are coming in. Or the mission changes. Where, like, win 4 ranked games is going to become win 2 ranked. I just caught it yet. Oh. Yeah, I really like this change as well. I really like it. I really, really like it. But that is going to be the end of the stream, everyone. That's going to be the end. It was a very short stream today, but it's very hot, and I have still got some other bits to get on with. We are going to go ahead and raid Hao, though, because we love Hao. Hao is great. He's probably playing Duel Links right now. Which is fine, but unfortunately, you know, that's not Shadowverse. So if you're here for the Shadowverse stuff, you can talk to Hao about Shadowverse, but he's playing Duel Links. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.